part 2. And we've been talking about bags under the eyes. Now we're going to be talking about arching our eyebrows. My end result on bags under the eyes was drink lots of water, cut the alcohol. What was the other one? Cut the salt. Those are both really bad for under eye wrinkles. And try to switch from sleeping on your back to a side. You know, when you're kind of in that twilighty sleep and you're on your back and you think, oh, go ahead and roll to the side. I have roll all night long anyway because of my neck pain, but so I guess it's good for my eyes. There's something good to everything. But anyway, the cream that I recommend hands down is the Extra Repair Moisture Cream by Bobbi Brown. She has an eye cream that's not what this is. And I really feel like this worked better than her eye cream on my eyes. Bobbi Brown, I hope you're not mad at me. I know you're watching all of my videos and sponsoring all of your products around it. Anyway, Bobbi Brown, big fan of the Extra Repair Moisture Cream. Extra, I don't know if you can see that. Just write this down. Extra Repair Moisture Cream. Extra Repair Moisture Cream. And again, I usually use, as a paddle, I use the back of my nail. Get it out on the back of my nail. And then take it off and put it on both of my ring fingers and pat it in. And it definitely, for one thing, it just crams it into the wrinkles and pores. And it really does help make a difference, I feel like. I gotta tell you, my eyes are really irritated today, so they probably look just flat out gross. Okay. I forgot to go turn that alarm off, so just if you can kind of ignore it. Alright, so what was I going to talk about? Eyebrows. Now, I'm not a doctor on bags or nutritionist or anything, skin specialist, and I'm not a makeup artist on brows. I think I did pretty good on this brow today. But today I went for a thin one. And for thin ones, I often recommend either Anastasia Brow Wiz, or now Urban Decay has also come out with their version. And I understand that there's also a NYX one. But they're these really, really skinny ones. And on one end, they have an eyebrow spoolie brush. And you always want to brush through at the end because it gets rid of the line that you just drew. So it looks a little more natural. But the other thing is... the nib on these is so tiny. I've shown it a whole bunch. You almost can't see it, so tiny. And so as you are doing your brows, you literally can do all these little motions and give yourself some little hairs because it's so small. That is going to drive me crazy. Now here's the deal, because I still have not learned to edit. What we will do is close the door. So just hold on. Hold on. I'm not going to run all the way down the hall, but I am going to shut the door, because I assume that does cut off some point during the day, because when I come home, that is not still going, so it must. I'm going to go ahead and close both doors so make sure that you don't hear it. I'm back! Okay, we had a nice little talk while I was gone, so see, I don't need to edit. Anyway... Alright, so that Anastasia Brow Wiz, as far as the color, if you're a blonde, I would go with a taupe or a soft brown. Don't go any lighter than that, or what's the point? It really doesn't show up. If you're brown, I would get brown, and if you're dark brown, I would get dark brown to dark taupe. And if you are true black-headed hair, then I would use a soft black brow pencil. Okay, so we've seen a lot of brow pencils. I do only like retractables because I don't want to have to carry around or use a sharpener of any kind. Now this is my all-time favorite, is the Almay Intense Eye Color in the color 004 Raisin Quartz. By the way, when I just bought a new one, where'd I get it? Walgreens. It was called Black Raisin, but... on the package. It still said 004, but when you look on it, it still says Raisin Quartz. So I don't know what's up with that, but I want you to see that this color is purple, but it's a brown purple, and it does not come across brown. Now, I've already done, now you see there's also a very tiny nib. As you wear this one out, it gets a little fatter, not much, but very easy, and this is what I'm going to teach you about how to do them. I do not square off the bottoms or square off the front. That is up to you whether or not you like that look. It's a very finished look. Some people think it's not as natural a look. Of course it's not. But let's face it, when you put on the kind of makeup that I'm putting on, you are not looking natural. But what I would say that you need to do is, first of all, reinforce and support the lower part of your brow, and that's where you get your little tail. And then go straight up from the pupil, straight up, and that's, you know, people say the outer part of your iris. I disagree. I would say go straight up and then that point and go back like that. And there's your line. And then I would build forward to back, forward to back, forward to back, and it gives you a nice brow. And if you want to reinforce, if it's real thin on the front, just do a few little flicks on the front half to give yourself what looks like some hairs. If you want to arch it a little more, go straight to that same place right in front of your pupil again. And there. See how I gave myself a little bit more of a lift. Now I'm going to use the other one. Notice, by the way, that does not look purple in the least. It is like a soft brown. It's the weirdest thing, but it does have a purple hue, and it does not show up. And then you might want to use a spoolie. Matter of fact, you always should use the spoolie and comb straight up like that. And what you're doing is you're getting rid of the line you just made. Except on the end, you can go out. And here, again, straight up. And all your expressions will cause them to get right back where they should get. But then you can just use any other kind. This is an easy liner from Jordana. I think these are a couple of bucks. Same thing. That's in a brown, like a chocolate brown. So I might try that one. Matter of fact, I'll just do that real quick with the other eye. I had already done mine. But anyway, again, support the underline. Ooh, that's a little too dark. See how that's too dark? But I'm going to go ahead and finish out. Go up right there and back. And then forward to it back, forward to it back, forward to it back. Boy, that's way too dark. And so what do? You can use your spoolie and brush that back out. And see how it kind of got rid of all that color and lines? Yeah, that's a little too dark for me. I like, well, I mean, it came across okay. But I think I like the this better. Also, you might want to use the actual gel, the pomades, all that kind of stuff. Where is it? This is a Chanel one. This is a brow kit. And usually you either wet it or it's got a wax in it. And you can choose from the three or you can mix it up together. You use an angled brush. And basically what you're doing, I'll just use some. Again, I'm going to have really pronounced brows at this point. Is, again, go straight up from the pupil and go back. And now come in front of it and go back to it, front of it and back to it. It's just like when you use liner, you never just start over here and go all the way to the end. It's better to start in the middle and go back and then go in front of it and go back, in front of it and go back. And those little short motions, it's easier to make the lines you want to make. And then always remember to comb through, because what the combing through does is break that line. It doesn't look so much like a actual line. Your eyebrows are rarely the same, so just do the best you can and just know that it looks more natural if they're not absolutely perfect to each other. Anyway, another thing that I do, y'all have seen me use, just like the darkest shade or the darkest shade I feel in the palette, and I use a short shader. This is a Sigma Beauty E20. As y'all have seen me use this before, it's very tightly packed. It's almost like having a little staple digit line that you can use, and I literally tap it into like a dark, like this is the Marc Jacobs 206, the Lolita, but I mean you can have all kinds of quads or an actual brow product palette. And again, I start right there and go back, and then I come in front of it and just fill back in. And how much of an arch you do is up to you. That is purely, I think, up to each individual. Some people say, well, you shouldn't have such a high brow. It's like, well, you shouldn't have a tan, or you shouldn't have ice cream. Don't tell people what they shouldn't do with themselves. Let them choose. Okay, so this one I went a little too high, so I am going to bring this up a little bit. And, you know, you can work with it. It's very hard, by the way, to tell on camera, so I can rarely tell what I'm doing in mirror and lighting like this. Then there is brow setting gels. I think, who did I just see that I almost bought? Rimmel has a clear gel and that little tiny brush. I think there's Brow Wiz and others. Gimme Brow. Other ones that just, they have a very tiny, like the size of your pinky nail spoolie brush, and it's just clear gel. Sometimes it's tinted, whichever you want to use. I also like this Maybelline Brow Drama, and it has an unusual little brush. It's round, and I had to figure out how to use it. You actually rub it backwards first, and it catches all the little hairs that you happen to have, and then you comb back through. Now, if you have a lot of brows, this is a good tamer, and it does pick up on all the little surrounding hairs. Also, it never fails to get my other hair that's like hanging in the way. But, and you brush straight up, and it kind of sets them. As you can see, I'm going to have such pronounced brows, you guys. Okay, I didn't brush backwards on this eye. It's because that one's already a little over-pronounced today. But, and again, I brush up, and then when you make your expressions, they'll come back down in a natural position. So, I don't know if that helped you. If you don't have any brows at all, what I would suggest is to draw it on in little hairs, either with the Anastasia Brow Wiz, the Urban Decay Brow Pencil, because they have such small nibs, or get these. This you can get at the grocery store. Again, this is Almay, and again, this is in Raisin Quartz, and I'd either get this or a taupe or something lighter, and then just build, you know, get the little nib up out of there, and just, again, first support underneath, which gives you your tail, and then just little motions like you have a hair, and just, you know, give yourself some time until you get used to using these products. Always have a little spoolie handy, and maybe a makeup wipe that just kind of, you can experiment with until you get what you want for your brow. And again, it's such a, some people like to do the straight brows, some people like high arch brows. Just depends on what you like. So I hope that was helpful. I'm not a professional, but I do love you, and I hope I helped you out. Pimento cheese. So anyway, I'll see you in this video. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Ah.